a number I know a number of the people from the team are going to be there, and we're all just so looking forward to the training, learning how to be executive directors and beyond, and build these, six-figure income, seven-figure income businesses, and that's what this financial freedom boot camp is all about. Here's a little bit more information. Friday and Saturday. On Friday, there's two 3-hour sessions, and then we head to the team cookout at the Rich's Ranch. I can do this differently instead of switching from screen to screen. Give me 1 second to open up my screen here a little bit. There we go. Head to the Rich's Ranch on Friday night for a team cookout and pool party if you like to swim. Sometimes, the big information is shared at these informal get-togethers where we all get to talk and chat and, just learn about each other. And then, of course, Saturday will be our third 3-hour session, and we, get sent home with all the information and just the I don't know, the excitement, ready to just go, which is what we all want to do. So that's Financial Freedom Boot Camp. Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 1099 rooftop. Now, this event happens Thursday evening. It's not an official event, but we're all going to gather Thursday evening at the top of the Holiday Inn, the rooftop bar, and just share adult drinks if you like those, or whatever you like to drink, and just again another opportunity for us to get together and get to know each other and learn about each other, which is always fun. I'm going to throw this out there. Brene Brown, Dare to Lead. I listened to more of that book, another couple hours of that book here this weekend, and I'm telling you what, she does a wonderful job in her storytelling and how uh, this Dare to Lead, came about, and how she has incorporated it into her life, and what she's learned personally, and from that, right, all of her years of experience we can learn and smooth out the learning curve, we in our leading and how we plan to lead. And my favorite thing is when she calls rumbling, right? Which is basically a conversation where you get together and sometimes have not so pleasant conversations, but she calls it rumbling. And that's kind of been one of my own personal favorite sayings here. Listen, personal development, get in the habit of reading 10 pages from a business or personal growth book every day. That's over 3,000 pages every year. And all that is going to do is continue to help you grow as a person, to help you grow as a business person. Team meet and greets. Let's talk about this for a minute. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 5 p.m. Central, and it's at the link stwzoom.com, which is the same link as our Monday morning meetings, and it's the same link as our Thursday evening meetings. But this is a 30-minute team meet and greet where one of the leaders gets up and talks a little bit from a different perspective about LegalShield and the three-legged stool. And then, we bring in some testimonials just so that people hear other voices. It's a great place to bring somebody who's already gone through the orientation, and you're just looking for another touch, another way to introduce them to the group. And for me, I've always used to say, listen, so you know that it's not just me, okay? It's me and all these other people that are involved in this business. And I think that helps people, give them some confidence that this is a real business and that we're real people, okay? And one final thing I'll say to this, and you may or may not have heard this saying before, but sometimes you need the meeting. In other words, you bring a perspective prospect to this meeting, and you need that meeting for them and to help you grow your business. And sometimes the meeting needs you. In other words, I might have brought a prospective client to this meeting, and I just need them to see that there's a bunch of people in this room and that we're all rowing in the same direction. So sometimes the meeting's you, sometimes you need the meeting. So help us out, be there, put stuff in the chat. Don't ask questions. But if you agree with something you heard or something like that, just be part of the excitement, be part of these team meet and greets, and you will find that they are quite valuable, actually more valuable than a lot of things that we do, honestly. Once somebody has all the information, you don't want to just bring them to a team meet and greet. You want them to get the information through the overview, then the orientation, and then bring them to the team meet and greets. Just to throw this out there, April 24th to the 27th is our international convention in Baltimore. Baltimore, wrong slide. Forget that slide. I was going in a hurry tonight. Our international convention, thank you, Sonora, for shaking your head, is in Louisiana, actually. And I don't know what the dates are because I don't have a slide. Shame on me. Sorry about that, folks. I promise I will have that updated for next week. Our business opportunity Zooms, we had one this evening. It's at 7 Central or 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. It's a complete overview of our business from LegalShield and ID Shield plans to how you can get started as an associate. And Sonora Dantzler and I, for the most part, are the ones that are doing the front end and the back of that. We have some guest presenters that come in. Vaughn's helped with that. Teresa Burke's helped with that. And we're looking for other guest presenters. So come to that, learn it, learn the presentation, start practicing it at home, and let us know that you're ready. And we'll get you involved in those presentations. And we're always looking for testimonials. So our next one's Monday the 21st. And we will send out the link for that. It's not an easy link like come to our link.com. It's a Zoom link. So we promise you that we will get that link out through all the channels we possibly can. And if you're not getting it, let us know. And between Sonora, myself, Mr. Tanner, any of the leaders on the team should be able to get that link to you. For those of you that are interested in employee benefits and selling plans to businesses, this is the current schedule through this month for the small business, small group training. Okay. I got to put on my glasses to read this. Oh, I guess I can read it on this side, huh? It's bigger on this side. As you'll notice on 7/12, which is past, this is the 14th, right? So all these 7/12s are done, 13's done. So from 7/18 on down, you can see these are live, these Eventbrite links. When you go into your back office in Ellis Engage, these Eventbrite links are actual live links that you can click on and you can register for these classes. Now, most of these are live and in-person classes. As you can see, there's a virtual Canada that happens on the 26th, and there was another virtual. Maybe they've taken it off the schedule. Maybe it filled up. Oh, there it is. On 7/25, there's a virtual corporate with Ken Roebuck. So if you don't know how to find these, reach out to your leaders, reach out to me, Jim, Sonora, any of our leaders here. And I don't mean to mention names because we got a lot of great leaders on this team. But reach out to your leaders and they will help you find those and get registered for those classes. This is the small business, small group certification classes. Okay. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Performance Club. I think this is something that we always got to keep in the front of our minds and are qualifying for this. As you know, you need 150 total points to be Performance Club qualified for this month. This is typically the baseline qualifier for any of our trips. So I assume that y'all want to go on our trips. So make sure you're getting Performance Club qualified. Plus the fact it qualifies you for these monthly checks. So at the top of that, you see every premium dollar counts as a point. You sell a $29.95 plan, you get 30 points because they round it up. A $37.95 plan, you get 38 points. If you recruit a new associate with a membership, typically a LegalShield membership, get 50 for that new associate. And if it was a $29.95 plan, you get 30, so that's 80 points right there. If you do that again, you're Performance Club qualified. So two associates with a LegalShield membership, Bob's your uncle. You're Performance Club qualified. If you qualify for 3 consecutive months, you start getting these $200 bonuses. And once you cross 12 months of being qualified consecutively, it goes to 300, 24 months, 400, and then after 36 months, that bonus rises to $500. And there's some other ways as you start to work your way through these that you can actually add to those dollars. So that $500 bonus might be 700 or 900 or a couple $1,000, depending on what's going on in your team. So that's Performance Club. What I'd like to do next is celebrate everyone so far that's Performance Club qualified, and that is Mr. Andrew Benson, Ivana Rhonda Steele, Mr. Jim Tanner, Mr. John Fehrenbach, Ms. Sheila Carmen, Lenore Olicki, Mishan, hopefully I said that right, Demos, and Stacy Holcomb. So congratulations to all those. Now, these numbers are as of Friday because nothing's, as you know, the second weekend doesn't get updated till tomorrow. So if you know your Performance Club qualified through the weekend and I didn't mention your name, don't get mad at me. I'll catch you next week. I promise. I promise I will catch you next week. So listen, on these Monday main events, what I would like to take the time to do is to just to talk about our wins, talk about our successes. Mention, give kudos to anybody who's accomplished anything in particular. And I'd like to open the floor. You can raise your hand if you know how to do that. At the bottom, well, at the bottom of my screen on my computer, there's a way to raise my hand, and I can, I can call on you, or just unmute yourself, and I promise I'll let you in. But we'd love to hear about any of the successes going on in our team. And I think I'm going to start because I know he can't wait for this. I'd like to acknowledge that Mr. Von Steele qualified as a Ruby as of today. We learned of this, and that's part of the business solutions uh, um, advancement and part of their acknowledgments of people doing a great job out there. So we'd love to say congratulations, Mr. Steele, for uh, attaining that Ruby level. Congratulations to you. Teresa Burke, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I cannot for some reason do something with this camera. It's been giving me a hard time with my Zoom lately. I think I have a permission issue. But I would like to number one, I'd like to say kudos to somebody who I don't see on the call this evening, but an associate that has really been putting in some effort. His name is Nick, and I know that we have to celebrate whatever wins. So however this energy makes it to him, that I'm excited that he's been logging back into his success team TMS portal and making some phone calls. That's super exciting. Also for me, I sent out 74 and replied to 74 emails today, which is just one of those things that gives me a little bit of yay, right? And I replied to 4 voicemails that I had received. So again, it is everything's a win, right? We got to be grateful for for all of the things that we do, whether it's for ourselves or somebody else. And I absolutely would say anybody who's done something today that was more than they did yesterday or feel good about, give yourself a pat on the back too, because that's what we're here for. And thank you so much, John.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. And it's action, right? It lets us know that we're not the only ones out there making these phone calls or replying to emails or whatever it might be. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Mr. Tanner, I see your hand up, sir.
John Fairbank, thanks so much. I just want to jump in real briefly. So I don't know, I think everybody that's not new, you remember being new and a little uncertain about the family, right? Because we talk about family and you say it's a family environment and everybody can just come in and chime in but when you're new, we understand that that's still daunting. And then there's a day. And for some of us, it's convention. Some of us, it's the Cookville event. But there's a day where we break through that. We realize, wow, they really are talking about family. We really are feeling, we really do feel connected. So I want to brag on my new business partner, Stacy Lynn, who's here with us tonight. She's not quite ready to start speaking for herself, but that day's coming soon. But here's what I want to share about Stacy Lynn. So you heard me a couple weeks ago talk about that she fast start qualified. She did it. 3-1 in 20 days or less. But here's the rest of the story so far. She reached the manager level, and when we went into the 45th day, when we went into Thursday last week, and the deadline was up, she was still $20 short. I want you to think about what that's like. So many people we've seen throw in the towel, not even that close. Further away than that. But she said, "Listen, I'm going to make it happen," and she did. And so last Thursday she pushed. She did it. She made it happen. This is someone who's got recruits on her team, individual memberships, family memberships, and even a small business plan in her team today. So Stacy, we're so grateful for your contribution. And Stacy lives in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, which not everybody knows where that is, but that's close enough. So you're going to all see her in Cookville at the big event that's coming up soon. We're so grateful for you believing in yourself, trusting in the leadership, and joining us in this endeavor. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Stacy. Let's, Sonora, I
Hey,
thought your
John.
hand was, yeah, go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, I just want to mention real quick since you stole the Ruby Thunder out from underneath me. I want to mention that there's a few associates on my team that has really stepped up and they're slugging away. Angela Comstock is one of them. She's out of the New Hampshire market, and we have been talking pretty serious lately, and she has a few things going on, and I really want to commend her on that. And keep up the good work, Angela. And listen, you keep on striving, success will come.
Thank you, Vaughn. And yeah, congratulations, Angela. And that's what it takes. It just takes action. You got to keep moving. It's like exercise or building muscles. If you stop, nothing happens, right? Or your muscles atrophy. Just ask me. Um, anyways, I'd like to introduce a new person to the team here this evening. I think he's still on. Eric Brotherton. He is just got started with us here this past week, and he's excited. He's jumped into a couple of the trainings, and if you'd like, I'd like him to unmute himself and just share a little bit about himself with us, if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, I can do that. Hey, everybody. My name's Eric. I am in Austin, Texas. Been in sales a little while, and John reached out to me about this opportunity, and I heard about LegalShield probably back in 2018. I actually had it for a little while, and then COVID hit, and I let it lapse. But so I've known about the LegalShield. I just never thought about selling it until John hit me up.
Well, welcome to the team, Eric. We're excited to see where you take this and where it goes for you. And as you can see, this group of people here, we're all rowing our boats in the same direction, and we're all here to help each other and as best that we can. Anyone else? Just unmute yourself or raise your hand, whatever you'd like to do. I think this is an important part of our. Okay, Sonora. I thought I saw your hand up earlier.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm
Do you
just
know how to
doing
work that
multiple
machine?
stuff here. Sorry, guys. Hey, everybody. I'm Sonora Dancer here over in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm just so happy, so excited. I'm telling you, Monday is like one of my most exciting days because we get to spend this time together. And you heard John say that we are so much like family, guys. I cannot wait to meet each and every one of you in person in Cookville or the next live event, because we've got live events happening all over the United States. But I do want to congratulate and to throw out and to do kudos and high fives and all of that. I sort of got a list, John, so I'm really sorry, but I won't take up too much time. So I'm going to start with some of my business partners. Miss Annie Walker, I don't actually see her on here, but I got to give her shout out and kudos. She's got life in with her right now, but she got a membership in. I can't remember exactly which day it was, but she got another membership in. and was able to go out there and help and bless another human being out there. She's still working on some other stuff. So kudos to Miss Annie. Also want to give shout outs to Miss Nina. Miss Nina, she's been having some up and downs as well too, but we had a little discussion the other day, and we talked about just keep chiming at it. And it's okay if you get no's, because you are one away from a breakthrough. So just keep going with that. And I'm just so happy and excited for her. And then also, I wanted to celebrate and congratulate another one of my business partners. Oh God, where's it at? I had it on my notes, guys. I wanted to congratulate and celebrate um, first her first year anniversary with LegalShield. Um, uh, okay, so that's what happens when you don't have stuff in order and you're doing like multiple things. But I did want to congratulate her, and I can't pull it up right. Okay, never mind. But I wanted to say happy 1 year LegalShield anniversary. I was trying to pull up my genealogy, guys. And if you know anything about genealogy, guys, that's when people are like way down and over here and all that other stuff. But stuff kind of pops up, and you're like, whoa! And I got really excited. So sorry, guys. And then also, I wanted to give myself kudos because I've been having some up and downs and some life be life. But I was able to reach out over the weekends because I got mad at myself. You guys will learn that about me. I got a little upset with myself, and I reached out to 4 business owners that I just kind of just walked into their place. I started talking to them. I started sharing some information. One of them, we were trying to set up something for today, and we're still playing tag, you're it. And then I have another person later on this week that we're trying to set up something with as well too. But the story for this, guys, is that I wanted to tell you is that guess what? I was not going to walk into a store and start talking to a business owner on a weekend because I thought that they were going to be too busy. Duh. Can you imagine that? But I did it anyway. I said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I did it anyway. And then I talked to him and voila. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. So I'm sorry that I get really excited about like little goofy stuff like that. But here's the thing. If I wouldn't have done it, we would never have known what could have been and what currently is. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, John. That's my little bit. And I'm just so happy and so excited that all of you guys are here. And I want to commend all of you and give you a high five and clap because guess what? You are here this evening. Back to you, Mr. Fehrenbach.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sonora, for all of that. And you know what? Nothing's too small. Nothing's too small. Nothing's too big in this room because it all matters. It all matters. And just, the conversations that we have. I had Greg Werdeman, who none of you know, but he's been just kind of plodding along, and he's set up a couple 3-way calls, and we got one set up for this week, and I'm super excited for him, and it's that action that you take going forward, moving forward. Keep, as long as you keep keep those rows going, keep the oars going in the right direction. Okay. We're here to help. We're here to, support you in any way that you need. And it takes a bunch of small things, and all of a sudden it's a big thing. And that's huge. It's huge, everybody. Can you say that? It's huge. Well, listen, congratulations to everybody. And as Sonora said, just being here this evening at 9 o'clock Eastern time and whatever time it is across the United States, congratulations for being here. We are thrilled that you are here. And I'm going to now take the opportunity to turn this over to our presenter, our main trainer, our main event person, Mr. Jim Tanner. As you know, he loves to have fun doing this business. He knows all the answers, and he knows how to make the big money. Mr. Tanner, over to you.
Well, let's see, my unmuted. Thank you, John, very much. Thank you, everybody. What an event so far. I mean, we're just kind of half an hour into this thing, and I don't want it to stop. I don't know how you all feel, but man, I'm just having the time of my life. And I wonder sometimes what it would be like. And I know you guys sometimes you do these meetings without me. Like next Monday night, you're gonna do this without me because I'm gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia, doing the event. Me and Ron Pertab, believe it or not, has been in this business longer than I have. We're teaming up to do the Atlanta business overview at the airport next Monday night, and so I won't be with you. I'll be with you in spirit, but the leaders here in the team are going to take care of this event without me next week. And for those of you in Atlanta, I hope you can join me as well. I'd love to have you there with me. We'll put that poster in the chat. I think a few folks have that flyer for Atlanta. And of course, this weekend ahead of Atlanta, I'll be in Houston at the Super Regional. We just got all this great stuff happening. So if you're in the Houston, Austin, San Antonio area, come on out, join us in Houston. It's gonna be a great event. You might be saying, I don't have a ticket yet. Come, just show up. We'll make sure you get a seat. We'll make sure you get in there. It's gonna be a great event. And this has been a fantastic event. And so here's the dilemma, John, Fehrenbach, Sonora Danzler, and the folks that kind of run this team and make me look like I'm brilliant. Here's the dilemma. The dilemma is I've got a lot of great stuff to share. I got a lot of stuff I could say. Um, but what I really want to do is I wish what I could do is like we could have a time machine, like Back to the Future. We could just go back and you could see what February 2004 Jim Tanner was facing, 550 credit score, had a car where I had to say a little prayer every day before I turned the key because on a cold day it might not start, which means I might not go to work, which means I might have to beg to keep my job. Uh, I was working and commuting 80 hours a week. I had two minimum wage jobs. I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't eat and pay for gas. So it was like one or the other every day. And today to be able to be here with you and see so many people that are supportive of each other and that we've created this environment of learning and loving together. I hope you appreciate it because every day it's like pinch me, like I can't believe that I get to be a part of this and that there's so many moments that could have went by where it could have ended. Frankly, is because I would have quit. There's so many times I could have quit. I didn't quit because of the folks that have stepped into my lives, like Mark Riches and Mike Riches and Steve and Mike Melia and all these people that stepped into my life. And, all of a sudden I wouldn't just be quitting on me, I'd be quitting on them as well. And so we're all here today because of people that have no financial interest in my business, but grabbed a hold of me and said, "Hey, listen, what we're doing is bigger than money. It's bigger than how much money you're going to make your money, but it's going to be so much bigger than that. The impact is what this is all about." So I'm glad you're here, and I do want to train you on some important components of our business tonight, like I said in the email. But hopefully, it's 9:31 Eastern. Hopefully, when we say goodbye, 29 minutes from now, you'll recognize this as a turning point. Not for one of you, but for hopefully for a whole bunch of us. Hopefully, you didn't just come here to learn how to like make more money, right? You came here because you were made for more. And what is the more at LegalShield? It's more impact. It is more income, but it's more freedom and it's more life. I mean, today, like I'm doing this event tonight from my home at Cape Cod Bay, where honestly, this place that I'm in right now, this condo that I'm in, and you guys, I did the meeting this morning from here too when it was light out and you could see out the back windows, which is it's on Cape Cod Bay. This was on my dream board. This was something I had to pass by and look at, and I had to accept that I hadn't made it yet, right? Like this was part of my goals and dreams, and now I'm doing the Zoom from here. So so some of it's financial, like more income, but a lot of it is more freedom and more life and being able to live the life that's totally available to you. So tonight, I'm going to give you some thoughts about the system that we have, the system I've used to build a multi-million dollar team without being pushy, without burning out, and without chasing people. So, over the last couple of weeks, I talked a lot about marketing the membership. This morning, I talked about marketing the membership. I'm going to balance that out today, talking about recruiting, because there's not enough of us. Hear me clearly. There is not enough of us marketing these services. You are going to run into friends and family members. They're going to say, 52-year-old company, you had to get in a long time ago if you were going to make any money doing that. People are going to tell you this. I'm telling you right now, they're going to say this to you. When I came here 21 years ago, the company was 30 years old. People said, oh, you missed it. You got to get in early. But there was less than 100 Millionaire Club members when I got here. I I remember when we crowned the 100th Millionaire Club member, and our founder, Harlan Stonesaver, he said at our convention, stand up if you will be, I get emotional about some of this, because this is my history. He said, stand up if you will be one of the next 100. See, as much as we celebrated that first 100 Millionaire Club member families, that's 100 families that have earned $1 million in this company. But I remember standing up. Now I stood up because I was excited. Listen, the reality is everybody at the convention center in Oklahoma City stood up. I stood up, but you know what happened? I was one of the next 100 Millionaire Club members in this company. And today we're on our way we're about to crown our 350th family that has earned at least $1 million with this business. So this business changes your life. It's not just about me though. It's about becoming the kind of leader who, because of our business model, your income is no longer tied to your hours. The kind of person who builds a business that pays you while you're living your life, which means you get to be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. You get to be auntie, you get to be uncle. You get to take care of your friends and your family and your aging adult parents. That's what we're really doing here. The goal of this, with this model, with this business that we have, ultimately, is to disconnect your time from your money. So let me go back to the chat here, make sure that you're with me. So if we spent the next 20 minutes talking about how to disconnect your time from your money, so you're no longer ever trading time for money again, would that be worth your time? Just let me see that in the chat. Would it be worth your time if for the first time, maybe some of you are in that position, some of you are not though, but for the first time in your life, maybe you could say, listen, I wake up to the income and then I go to work to build to the next level instead of I wake up to go earn the money so that I can pay the bills that already arrived. I'm seeing some yeses. This is the profound difference of LegalShield, and here's the thing is we're we are challenged with being able in these little corners of the world, right? There's a couple dozen of us here. Somewhere else, my friend Kevin Mack is talking to a couple dozen of people in his team. Somewhere else, Mike Richards is talking to a couple dozen people in his team. We're all having these little intimate meetings, in these evenings throughout the week, trying to help new people understand this is real. Growth lives here. LegalShield changes lives. And if you're excited, I'm good, because you should be excited. You're in the right place. And if you're intimidated, good. You should be intimidated because growth lives outside of your comfort zone. So in the time we have tonight, which is not a lot of time because I want to respect everybody's time. I want to talk about a couple of things that sometimes get lost in the hustle of our business. And a lot of times, again, recently we needed to overcorrect to talking about membership production. Every day you should be sharing this membership with people, right? 2 presentations a day. Every day, small business owners should get the chance to have a LegalShield business plan instead of having to go it alone. Every day, business owners should have the opportunity to bring LegalShield and ID Shield into their benefits package, and they don't even know we're out here. And their employees, for less than $10 a week, their employee and that employee's spouse and their children, their whole family can have both LegalShield and ID Shield because of our pricing model. They can have both plans for their whole family for less than $10 a week right now. So we need to be out there and be active when it comes to marketing the membership. But the thing is, there's not enough of us. Do you guys understand that? There's not enough of us marketing the membership. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. You might say, well, how could that be? We're 50 plus years old. First of all, people have passed on. Like some of my mentors have died. They passed away. They're no longer here. Our founder is no longer here. We don't have Dave Savula or Ken Moore. We don't have Harlan Stone Cipher. We don't have the people that were those foundational people that frankly you would think, well, how is it possible they could ever, I mean, when I was coming up in this business, you would never think that those people could pass away. They were beyond human. They stood so tall on the stage. But time takes us all, right? So they're no longer with us. We've had during the COVID era, we had this accelerated thing that happened where people who frankly had gotten older, whose health was already compromised, took a look around, they evaluated their personal situation and they said, you know what? In this era where I'm not so certain if I should leave or not, when I have residual income in the millions of dollars, maybe I should be focused on being a steward for my family, my kids and my grandkids, and that kind of a thing. And so there's a whole bunch of people we lost to retirement. So we lost a whole group of people that just passed away. Just time marched on. There's a whole other group of people that have a retirement and they've earned it. They are now home and we'll see them and we'll celebrate them at our conventions, but they're home. It's time for them to rest. I think about Nick Serba, whose ports, and I would never assume that Nick Serba is retired. So if this recording ever gets back to you, Mr. Serba, that's not what I was saying. But as an example, you have put your time in, sir. You have put your miles in, sir. And we want you to enjoy the life that you've built because of this, because you've been so instrumental to so many of us. Mr. Mark Brown, the same thing. And some of the sadness I have in my heart is that some of you, I'm saying names, you've never heard these names before. But my point is that some of our pioneers have passed on. Some of our pioneers, it's time for them to rest. And that means it's our time. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, all of these people have left this business better than they found it for us. Some of them had to create it, like the Stone Ciphers, but they've turned this over to us better than they found it. Today, it's $1 billion company. Today, it's well managed and well financed. Today, we have everything in place you could ever imagine. Today, we are self-evident. And when you hear me say that with such glee, like at the meet and greets when I talk about self-evident versus famous, you might say, why is he so excited about that? Here's why. Because 21 years ago, they promised me that someday this would be self-evident. They said, listen, it's not today. There was a time when we were radically opposed, which is the opposite of self-evident, radically opposed. The American Bar Association sued our pioneer, our CEO and founder, said, you can't deliver legal services that way. That's radically opposed. They said, you can't do this, but we overcame that. Today, when you go to the convention, the attorney generals will come on the stage and say, you must keep doing what you're doing. That's how far we've come. Today, we're self-evident. Self-evident is when someone sees our offering to the community and the price point we do it at, they say, why doesn't everybody have this? That's self-evident. Okay. So we have this, but there's not enough of it. This is the thing I want to talk about tonight. And now I only have 19 minutes. There's not enough of us doing it because we've lost the pioneers, because the weary have retired and they deserve it. I mean, even in my own team, I've watched people just say, hey, listen, I built a $250,000 a year residual income. I have grandkids now. I'm going to go enjoy my life. What should I say to that except go enjoy your life? But for us, some of you, you haven't built it yet. Some of you, you've built something, but your sights are set much higher. You're not willing to get off the escalator yet. And so we have to build this. So I'm going to just give you the quick version of where we go from here. We got to recruit. Like you need a team, I need a team, I need a bigger team, you need a bigger team. So where do we recruit from? There's only two sources. I don't know if you know this. There's only two sources of people that we recruit from. It's people that we already know, and internally we call that warm market. and it's people we've never met, and we call that cold market. So warm market, cold market. People who know us, people who never heard of us. Okay, and you're not choosing one over the other. We're building both because we're professionals. Because every person you speak with holds a world of possibility, and you don't need thousands. I just want to make sure you understand this. You don't need thousands of people to change your life. Every recruit you have is an explosion in your business. You need a few that are ready to run. So let's talk about warm market, and I'm going to do this quickly, Mr. Fairmarket. I'm going to turn it back to you for your closing thoughts. But when I started, I led with the membership because I believed in it, and I still do. See, I was a customer first. You guys know that. 10 years a customer. My belief was forged through experience. My belief in the membership was through having a landlord that was not kind to me, was not thoughtful, and was kind of a jerk, hand me a check in a trembling hand because of LegalShield. My belief was through sitting in traffic court and taking the whole day off only to have my lawyer stroll in, talk to the attorney first, and make it all go away in minutes. And I was back at work before lunch break. So my belief in the membership was forged. I believed in it. I still do. It's a customer first. I had that experience. So when I went to the marketplace, I used the training that we had at the time, the Dave Savula invitation, which is I've got something important I'd like to show you. It'll only take a few minutes. You may or may not be interested. And that line gave me posture. It created curiosity without pressure. Because if they weren't interested in the membership, I moved on, right? As far as recruiting goes, no guilt, no weirdness. So when you talk about your warm market, your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you've known forever, people you're related to, whatever, you can protect the relationship and you can protect your posture because all you have to do is lead with the membership in that warm market space. For example, you can ask people that you personally know and you've known for years if you can practice your presentation. This removes the pressure. You can ask them if they know someone who might need it. This activates referrals. Like you do the presentation, say, like I'd say to a friend, say, listen, let me just show you what this is, because you probably know some people that can help. You could ask if they know anyone looking to earn part-time income. You can kind of separate yourself from the person you're talking to and go around them because sometimes those very same folks will say, well, I might be, depends on what it is. But back to the warm market, if they love the membership, now you have someone who already believes in the product, like me, and might be perfect for the business. So you're not forcing anyone, you're just sorting. You're planting seeds without begging for a harvest. You're planting seeds without begging for a harvest. So I just want you to understand when it comes to warm market versus cold market, I think you can do whatever you want to do. But in the warm market, let's get you in front of the people that you've known forever, show them what we do, not necessarily how much you can make doing it. Because yes, everybody that we personally know needs an opportunity to earn an extra income, but let's activate their joy around what it is that we're delivering to the marketplace. Let me contrast that to cold market, like CareerBuilder recruiting, which we're all able to do. Here's where everything changed for me. Once I learned how to recruit using the cold market, it really unlocked something for me. And what really drove this home, I don't know if everybody understands this, but I live in Massachusetts, where historically the entire time the company has been in existence, while we used to have to get a license in a lot of states, it's very few now. We've been deregulated in most states, but for most states treated us in some version of an insurance product. But the most onerous, the most difficult, the most red tape and bureaucracy was the state of Massachusetts. It was kind of like a joke. Like even though we were open in 50 states, we used to joke and say we're only open in 49 because everybody ignored Massachusetts. Well, I met my wife. She's from Massachusetts, and I lived in the New England area, but I ended up moving here, and I did get the license. It wasn't that complicated at all, but it is something that slows people down. So I remember thinking at the time, I need to learn how to recruit in other places besides where I live. And that really unlocked this whole idea of cold market recruiting. So when the warm market is people you know, but think about the rest of the country, the rest of the US, people you've never met before. You and I have access to that cold market. And the great thing about cold market is in this team, we have a lead source for that. And that's something I want to touch on tonight because we have this career builder resume program that we're doing. So if you're open to a new path to create even more duplication for your business, then you've got career builder on top of your warm market, right? And the great thing about cold market leads in this team is um, they're free. So I think that's probably the best thing. So some of these people, some folks that are here tonight, you're hearing about this for the first time, but the leads are free. You get up to 1,000 a month. You can access people across the USA from your laptop, and no other team in Legal Shield is doing this at scale. So that's our strategic advantage. And John Fairmark, I'm gonna have you just come back in, and I'm gonna call in a couple other people. So be ready here in a second because I just want to spend a couple minutes talking about this. The training. I don't need to go over the training tonight because we have the training on this. But I just wanted to have a few people share their thoughts about their experience intersecting with Legal Shield. And some of you I know that this cold market resources how we connected. So we'll start with John, who was our host tonight and is really taking us through this. But let's talk with you, John Fairmock. Today you have this massive business, great success. You're a bronze executive director. You're on your way to your first ring. But at some point, somebody contacted you from your career builder resume, I assume. Otherwise, I'm way out on a limb. If you could just spend 30, 60, 90 seconds talking about that experience from your end when someone reached out to you.
So Jim Filetra, who is my sponsor, he reached out to me through my resume posted on CareerBuilder, and it was I'm fighting the battles that everybody that we talk to in this cold market is fighting, just trying to wade through what I'll call the minutia of, is this a scam? Is it not a scam? Is this a real business? Is it a real opportunity? And just wading through that minutia. And I probably put Jim to the test just by asking a bunch of questions. And what I try and do when I'm in the recruiting mode is I try and maintain control of the conversation as much as I can. I'm sure with Jim, he was doing everything he could to hold on to those reins because I was off and running because I got tired of being scammed. I got tired of BS. I got tired of all that stuff. So from that perspective, and if we put ourselves into the shoes of the people that we're talking to and have some understanding, it doesn't mean that we need to spend hours and hours explaining it. What it means is that we need to understand when somebody says, take your scam and go away, you put them in the remove pile and move forward because they've just been inundated with such junk from other people that they lose their perspective on what is real and what is not real, Jim.
Thank you very much for that. And by the way, I remember doing a three-way call with you. We'll do a training on that in another week coming up, three-way calls. But and of course, you know the whole story now. You've heard about Bill Maxwell, and you have a similar voice to Mr. Maxwell, who's passed on. And you're in that Ohio, Pennsylvania area. So I was like, it was kind of a weird. And actually, you don't know this, but I was in this house when we did that conversation together. So I just remember, this is the thing. It's real. It's real people. These are the conversations. And John, thank you for that. And hey Vaughn, if you have a second, Vaughn Steele, I see you on here somewhere. See if you can unmute. I'm not sure if you walked away from your computer, but I'm sure you have a similar story as well. And Teresa Burke, Teresa, if you're somewhere that you could talk about that, I mean, you had a moment where somebody reached out to you. Maybe it was from a classified ad, maybe it was from a resume. Sonora Danzler, certainly you have those same stories. Let's hear some of those stories tonight. Sonora, if you can unmute, and maybe I have to make it so people can unmute. Let me make sure. that we're set up for that. I think we are.
Hey,
Next. There you go, Teresa. Yeah. Tell
you
the
said
story. Like somebody reached out to you, someone you didn't know, someone that you weren't sure if you could trust, right? And share a little bit about that.
so. The person that actually reached out to me was somebody that really, I would say, seemed like she wasn't sure what she was doing was. Um, Let me rephrase. She didn't feel confident. It didn't seem like she felt confident about what she was doing. But if there was one thing that she did seem confident about, it was the services. Right. When we had our conversation, she knew that the reason that she had Legal Shield was because of what it had done for her and her family. Although she wasn't really, in a hey, I'm making, whatever this is. I have a huge team, all of those things. But just the fact that she was willing to share it with me and kind of walk me through the process, I felt, especially when I first started, I was so grateful. I'd send her emails and be like, thank you so much for bringing this into my in this opportunity to me. And there were so many pieces of it, I think, that because of her posture that I kind of saw in myself later, I didn't really pick up on until I was trying to have those conversations with people. I don't know if I got sidetracked to your point. Sometimes I talk too much or
Well, Teresa, let's go back, and I'm gonna ask a few other people to weigh in, but that day started like any other. This is the point I want to make for everybody. That day started like any other day, and then you got an email or a text or a phone call, right? I mean,
oh,
someone
absolutely.
intersected with your life.
I was it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and I had actually I think it was 10:01 in the morning, and I was getting out of the car at the Walmart to go buy something for my daughter. She was still pretty little. And or my son, I'm sorry, for my son. I remember getting out of the car and receiving the email and replying to it. And or I'm sorry, receiving the email with the video in it and clicking on it. And for the 10 minutes, I think it was 10 minutes and like 50 seconds or something like that, when I walked through the Walmart, I listened to it. And as soon as I came out of the Walmart, I replied to her email and I was like, hey, let's talk. Let's get absolutely. It was like any other day. It was like I I didn't know I was looking for that to happen that day, but I'm so glad it did.
Thank you. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Um, let's see who else is available. Yvonne or Sonara, are you somewhere where you can unmute? Sonara, go ahead.
Hey, so my story is hilarious because I didn't get all of the information. My husband got all of the information. And when he got it, he was trying to explain it to me. He was like, yeah, I'm going to do this work from home stuff. We're going to make some money. There's this guy named Riches and, kind of similar to Chris Corley's. I was like, who, what? You're going to make money from a guy named Riches on a video that you saw. Yeah. And I was not for it whatsoever. And the super funny story is that we actually kind of flipped flopped. So I mostly do the business and my husband is like the secondary now, and we started the business right before COVID. So whatever the time frame is for COVID, 3-10 years, I don't know. And it's been a really wonderful, amazing ride. But because when we started the business, my husband was into it first, and I had no beliefs, no nothing, no nothing. And just like you've heard a lot of people, we used our membership. And because we used our membership, I was like, you might have something here. And then from that point, we used our membership again. And I was like, it really works. Because again, it's like when the membership goes to your heart, guys, I'm telling you, that is like where it's at. So when people use their membership, then they tell people about it, just like going to a good restaurant. Oh, this was great food. You got to go here. Or seeing a good movie. Oh, that was the best movie ever. You got to, do it. The same thing like here. Our son used the emergency app, and I didn't even think the emergency part worked, y'all. But he used the emergency app. He was on the highway, got pulled over, had them on the line. They stayed on the line with them the whole time. And again, that's like peace of mind and relief for us as parents to know that the emergency app, first of all, works, and that there's real people on the other line that stayed on the line with him during that entire ordeal. And I don't know about y'all, but being on the expressway, being pulled over, a young black young man in the car, he had a hoodie on. Yeah, that's a whole nother story too. But that's what young folks wear. And things could have not went the right way. But for him to be able to have that anywhere, and he's getting ready to go off to college, guys, in 49 days. For us as parents, peace of mind. Our daughter is also in college. She has the app. She can use it the same way. And, there's nothing else I can say. Peace of mind, knowing that our kids have that service is just phenomenal.
Sonora, thank you. And folks, I want you to think about what it's like to feel that certain about the membership, that certain about the opportunity, but also I want you to think about what it's like to have Sonora Danzler in your team. Right? And by the way, I remember that because I used to think your name was Terry in the beginning because that's Mr. Danzler's name, and I got confused because she was showing up, but that's not what it said on the reports, right? So we had to fix that. But I just want you to think about that. Like, what's that like in your team when someone shows up that has that much conviction, that much belief, that much willingness to show up and show out and do the work and talk about it and include others in it and challenge others to run. That could be happening in your team. That will be happening in your team. John Fehrenbach, I'm going to need your help here again in a second, but Vaughn, I'm going to give you one more chance because I don't know if you had to step away. But you're another one of those stories, right? Like somebody one day, here you are, you're Vaughn Steele, but you weren't Vaughn Steele until you became Vaughn Steele. He's still on mute, so we'll assume he's probably helping somebody get signed up. But John, could you help us one time, if you're still in a position to do so? I want to teach people real quick because we're at the top of the hour, how to get access to 1,000 free leads a month. People that at some point have had an open mind or right now are open. People that are looking or were looking. People that are willing to engage in a conversation. Not everybody, but some of them. And we've got great training on how to use these leads that you don't pay a single cent for. And we'll have you go into your share your success team back office, and we'll look at the resume recruiting training section, which was built for everybody on this team to take part in and to take up to 1,000 resumes every single month. That's 1,000 leads with, you don't have to put in a credit card. You don't have to pay a single nickel for it. All you have to do is work those leads. So let's, do you have that screen up? I'm not sure. I can't see all the screens.
I do. It's so I'm starting off with the associate access page, which is the page that we all end up on, Jim, when we log into Success Team. And as I start to slide down, you'll see recruiting resources, which is a purple bar. It says recruiting resources. Then you have team building training, and then you have resume recruiting training, which is what you were talking about. And I apologize, but there is a way to request the resumes. I don't remember. I didn't know this is what you're asking me to do.
I did put you on the spot, but let's show them first of all in the introduction PDF that there's a whole guide on how to work these resumes that goes with the videos that accompany that. So that's right there for everybody. You don't have to wonder what to do. And then in the TMS under resources, you'll find that there's a section order resumes, and also just under the recruiting resources heading is its own separate link for ordering resumes as well.
Sorry about this, folks. Under popular links, Jim? I'm sorry.
If since the last time I put you on the spot, but if since the last time we updated one of the videos, you haven't clicked on it, it might not be showing.
That's probably why.
Go into the TMS and resources.
Not everybody has the TMS. That's why I usually avoid it, but I can do that.
Sorry for butting in, but I thought if they didn't do the resume recruiting training, they can't order resumes.
That's what it is. It's just that, John, since we've recently updated a video, um, that's why your shows is not done, because we've updated a video since the last time you did it. But Karen Ward, while you're on, and while John is doing that, do me a favor, tell your story, because you met a gentleman at church, and I was telling your story recently, but it's always better if it comes from you. So I recruited a lady from a resume. She recruited Marvin, and then Marvin showed this business to you. Can you share your part of that story?
So Marvin and I were going to the same church. He's since moved back to Louisiana, but he came to me and he said, "I'm working with a new company, and I need to practice a presentation. Can I do it with you?" And I was like, "Sure." And so before he even got through the presentation, I said, "Sign me up." And he goes, "That's not how this works. I need to do the presentation." And I said, "To be honest with you, I had this years ago, but it was called prepaid legal." And so the first thing I asked him was, "Is this company out of Oklahoma?" He said, "Yes." I was like, "Sign me up." So he signed me up. 6 weeks later, the attorneys in New York helped me with a situation. And then I was like, "How are you making money at this? I want to do this." And so he let me into the back office, and he kind of cajoled you into actually letting me do all the training. And I think I did all the training in the first month. The only training I didn't do was the CDLP, because that one had to be done in person. But back then you had to have a certificate for everything. And so I actually have all my certificates. I found them. And that was how I got started in the business. And I did the B2B. Before they called it walking in a community, I was going out and going to different businesses.
I love that. And all from a conversation with someone at your church, right?
Yes. And I tell you, like, I'm sorry COVID happened, but I think COVID was one of the best things because now it made everybody think outside the box. You can work from anywhere remotely. And now you can call anywhere in the United States, where at one time everybody was staying local. But now, especially with our team, you can call throughout the United States. And if you know how to look for qualified leads, the whole United States and Canada is open to you.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Karen. So, I want you
You're
to ask
welcome.
yourself, I'm going to hand it back over to John here in a second, but you want a Karen Ward in your team, and you say, well, where does Karen Ward come from? I can tell you, because she's in my organization. I recruited somebody from a resume. That person she happened to be a professional recruiter, actually, and she was very excited about the opportunity. Recruited a handful of people, but one of those people was Marvin, and Marvin went to church with Karen Ward, and now I have a business partner that I've had for Karen. How long have we been working together? It's been years, of course.
It has, I think we've been working together 9 or 10 years now.
That's how it happens, ladies. Thank you, Karen, for that so much.
You're
John, you
welcome.
want me to go back to you? Did you get that to come up for you?
Yeah, so you need to complete the resume recruiting training, which is the first four in the top of this. Okay, you need to go through those videos and complete those. I Back to the Future. That's what I just did. And then these two requests come up here. Request resume leads, and you can put your associate number and you'll get 250 leads at a time. And to the best of my knowledge, these leads show up in your TMS. So you need to either be on the 90-day trial for TMS, or purchasing that TMS, which I think is $14.95 a month, or you can pay for it for the year. Or the other thing that you can do is, if you'd like to spend some money, you can actually purchase resume leads. And the difference, I'll let you talk about the difference here, Jim. The difference, but you're purchasing 100 leads at a time for $35. So virtually it's 35 cents a piece. And you just add it to your cart and pay for it, and you will get those leads obviously put into your TMS as well.
Thank you, John, very much. And I'll talk about this. So the only difference between those leads is fresh versus aged. and I will say this with absolute confidence, there's no difference. Because a person is a person, and a contact is a contact, and a conversation is a conversation. And whether that person put their resume into our system 6 months or 2 years ago or yesterday really doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I have found that some of those aged resumes, we call them aged, the ones that you get for free, those are people that when they put their resume up, they were panicked. They didn't know where their next dollar was going to come from. But now they've found something else. It doesn't fulfill them. It doesn't get them to where they want to go in their life. It doesn't get the things off of their dream board into their reality. It pays their bills. That's kind of where you want people when you recruit them. You want them in a place where their bills are mostly paid, um, and then you can help them build a business alongside of that that then helps them accumulate additional income, fund their retirement, fund their dreams and their lifestyle. Because and then of course you can do what so many people have done, which is grow a legal shield business that can fire your boss if you want to. But there's no reason to start with someone who's unemployed and panicked, because that's not really the best associate anyway. So whichever way you go is fine with me. But those aged leads, which you get 1,000 a month, we have as you saw, we have great training on how to work those leads. We have a manual on how to work those leads. We have support meetings on how to work those leads as well, so that you can access people. The thing is this: when you contact somebody, not everybody you contact is going to be interested. We're going to wrap this up because we're over the top of the hour. Not everybody that you contact is going to be interested, but the person you contact that is interested, you just answered their prayers. I can't say that enough. I promise you, there's so many people I've talked to. This was exactly what they were looking for. They didn't know it was called Legal Shield. They didn't know it was us. They didn't know it was this community or this opportunity or this comp plan. But they were praying for something that wasn't the regular stuff. That wasn't 9 to 5. That wasn't trying to trade time for money. That wasn't how am I going to get my kids through, get them out of school and work. They wanted something different. They were looking for this, hunting for it, searching for it, praying for it. And then one of you stepped into their life and delivered it to them. That's what we do, okay? So that's why it's important that we do it, whether it's a warm market, cold market. We've got support for both. Both are great. But let's build your team, because there's not enough of us telling this story. There's not enough of us sharing this good news. And it is good news. I mean, people are signing up for Legal Shield right now by the thousands every day. So we just need more of us as advocates and ambassadors to share this good news so we can continue to grow that number. Remember, you're not someone trying Legal Shield. I want to make sure that's really, really clear. I don't work with people that are trying this, but I will work with you. I will fight with you. I will go into the dirt with you. I will bleed with you if you are one of us. But I'm not interested in someone that's trying Legal Shield. You are not trying Legal Shield. You're someone that's building your freedom, that's reaching out and creating an environment of freedom for others. You're not alone. You're part of a movement. You're not weak. You are capable. You're not behind. If you're here right now, you are right on time. And what you do matters. And it is important, noble work. And I'm so grateful that I get to do it with all of you. Folks, I'm going to see some of you in Houston, Texas this weekend, some more of you in Atlanta on Monday, and then a whole bunch of us are going to be together in a few weeks in Cookeville, Tennessee. I'm going to keep crisscrossing the US and Canada. I can't wait to spend time with you and continue this mission of equal access to equal justice to every corner of every community. Good night, everybody.
Good night.